It's estimated there are about 500 female ex-offenders in the Camden area, women who face enormous challenges once they get out of jail. It can be very difficult to get readjusted, but a nonprofit organization called the Lioness Pride is working hard to help these women. Here to tell us about TLP is its founder and CEO, Cheryl Marlowe. And full disclosure, Cheryl is one of our IT wizards here at Channel 6.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, Cheryl.
Thank you for having
Next
me.
to Cheryl is Sharon Walden, who is the VP of the Board of Directors for the Lioness Pride. And next to Sharon is Valerie, who is one of Lioness Pride's graduates and success stories. And we're not going to use Valerie's last name. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Cheryl, I want to start with you because you're the president, or not the president, but the founder and the CEO. Talk about how you started this organization. How did this come about?
Sure. Well, I have been volunteering at the Camden County Jail for the last 5 years. I take a life skills class once a week. During the life skills class, the women often express their fears about leaving the jail, not wanting to return to the lives that they came from, or not having a place to go once they get out. So often they are let out of the jail or released out of the jail at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And without transportation or a safe place to go, the drug dealers lay prey to them as they roam the streets. So I felt that I needed to do something about that. So I decided to create the Lioness Pride.
And I understand that once women, from reading your literature, once women get out of jail, they face a number of deficits. Sharon, can you talk about what the challenges are for some of these women?
Yes, many of the challenges are, for instance, just having no place to go except for where they came from, which is riddled with drugs and violence and the same things that cause them to be incarcerated in the first place. And the women really don't want to go back to that. So they need to not only be encouraged to live differently, but to have the support that will allow them to do that.
And talk about a little bit about what it is you're offering. There's housing, there's job training. Give us an idea.
Well, we're going to be offering introductory computer training classes, as well as interviewing and resume writing. We have a Dress for Success class. We offer 12-step recovery meetings and peer-to-peer activities as well.
We'll get into some of that stuff a little bit more, but Valerie, I want to bring you into the conversation right now and talk about your situation and what it was like for you when you got out of jail and how this has helped.
Oh, well, the day I got out was the happiest day of my life. I'll tell you that much. But Ms. Cheryl was really a great influence, and that program really did wonders for me while I was in there. Because when you're in there, you know, you do face a lot of boredom and stuff like that, and there's a lot of things that, you know, you could get involved in there that, you know, aren't quite positive. But that program inside the Camden County Correctional Facility is, you know, gives you a focus and, you know, a hope and, you know, just a purpose and something to work towards, and it helps you to better your life, you know. And when you're just sitting there with nothing else better to do, you start thinking maybe negatively, but it allows a positive influence to come over you, and it allows you to want to change, you know what I mean? And it gives you hope for a new future.
So the program actually starts while people are already incarcerated?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are in partnership with the Second Chance program inside the jail, and it allows us to work with the Second Chance women, and so they are so excited about this whole program because once they get out, they all want to be a part of the Lioness Pride. Mm-hmm. And so what we decided to let them do is let them run the Lioness Pride program. So we couldn't think of a better way to express the mission and goals of the Lioness Pride except by allowing the women to run it.
Well, for the folks at home, so that they can get a better idea of what we're talking about, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, my colleague, not too long ago profiled exactly what you're doing for a piece on Action News, and we want you to take a look at that right now so you can see what we're talking about.
I didn't know how to be a good friend. I didn't know how to be a good co-worker. I was just a complete mess.
Cheryl Marlowe tells these women it took a lot of hard work to clean up her mess.
And a lot of tears and anguish for me to become the woman that I always wanted to become.
The women listen intently as Cheryl tells them she's been where they are.
I would get up and I would just roam the streets, and I would do what I had to do to survive.
But that her life now is the best it's ever been.
I wake up in the morning and I'm excited. I'm excited to go to work in the morning.
She tells them theirs can be as well.
And you can make your life better than you could ever imagine.
And she tells them how she did it, how she
Appreciate
began to
that.
change her life.
I started hanging around people that I wanted to be like. I started hanging around people that really had my genuine interests at heart.
They are minimal offenders. Most are incarcerated for offenses involving drug addiction, shoplifting, and prostitution. On this evening, Cheryl's topic is serenity, peace, and joy. Feelings many of these women don't remember experiencing.
All I knew was shame, anger, disappointment, embarrassment.
Second Chance is a volunteer program. Participants often get reduced prison stay, but more importantly, they get help along with their jail time. 32-year-old Megan, also an addict, will leave prison later this month, but she's happy she won't be going home.
I'm glad I'm going to a halfway house, and I can admit that. I actually need that for me and for my recovery.
This is the first time 34-year-old Kellyanne has been in prison, and the first time she's felt responsibility for her actions.
Responsible for the pain and the anguish that I've caused and the damage that I've caused in my life, to deal with it every single day. Just to look at myself in the mirror and just be held accountable for the things that I've done.
45-year-old Vendetta has been a mother on drugs for 31 years. She has 7 children and feels tremendous guilt because despite all her failings, her kids still love her.
I have a daughter that comes here every week, Sunday, and visit me. She's only 21. I don't deserve that.
But with her children's love, with Cheryl Marlowe and Second Chance, Vendetta is beginning to feel peace and joy in her life.
I hear you have good news.
Yeah, I'm going home Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Valerie, let me ask you, when you watch that and you see, I don't know if you recognize some of the folks in there or they were familiar to you, but what does it feel like to remember what that was like and then be sitting here having gone through the program and really changed things around?
I feel like, I don't know, it just reminds me of like the past, and it reminds me of where I don't want to go back to, you know what I mean? And, you know, just the progress that this program's really given me in my life, you know what I mean? And how much better life is, you know, when you're doing the right thing, because that's what really this is all about, just doing the next right thing so that, you know, you can be a productive member of society.
Sharon, what happens that when women come out of jail or out of prison that they don't have the connections that you're providing for them? And I guess I don't mean connections, but the way to save them almost from themselves.
And you're right, that is part of the problem. They don't have the connections that will enable them to do the right thing. They're so used to a life riddled with crime, drug addiction, people who will encourage them to do the wrong thing. They need to be enveloped, so to speak, with people who have their best interests at heart, who have the time and the love and the support to show them how to live a better way.
Is it a fight sometimes? I mean, do you have to like get them, or are the women in your program, they want to be there?
Sometimes it is a fight because they don't believe that it can happen for them. That's where the fight is. Like they don't, like it could happen to someone else, but it won't happen for me.
Cheryl, I see you reacting to that. What are you thinking?
Well, it's the old way of thinking. You know, part of the life skills class that I bring into the jail teaches them that if you want high self-esteem, you have to do esteemable acts. You know, you have to change the way you think, you change your life. And that's part of the whole program, is getting them to think differently so that they can do things to become productive members of society again, to be successful in their lives. And most of them want to, they just don't know how to. And that's part of the life skills class, is that we teach them how to.
And can we talk about funding? How is it that you operate? You're a nonprofit. Are these volunteers who are teaching? Do you get donations? How does it work?
Well, right now it's all about private donations. We are applying for grants at the federal, state, and local level. And the money will be coming. Right now, we all volunteer. We volunteer our time happily. And sometimes, most times, we get more out of it than they do. You know.
And can you talk about, I don't know if a success rate is really applicable here, but you see it really working for some people.
Absolutely. One of the best things about it is to see a woman evolve, where they come in so torn down to the ground, and after they've been through the class, you could see that they get life back in their eyes. They see hope again. You can see that they're starting to smile and enjoy life again. And to see that transformation is absolutely awesome.
Valerie, I see you shaking your head, and I'm only assuming that you're going through what you went through or thinking about it. Tell us what it was like for you.
It gave me a lot of hope, you know, the meetings that Ms. Cheryl brought to the correctional facility, they gave me hope, you know, and a drive to go on and change. Because when you're stuck in the same situations and you're doing the same actions, you're going to get the same results, you know, and the only thing that can do that, like, you have to change yourself in order to recover and get better, and you have to start taking different steps and making different moves. And I feel like this recovery house is a really important, or it will be a really important part of people's lives, because if they go back to the same situation, living in the same situations, around the same people, you know, 9 out of 10 times they're going to go back to doing the same things, resorting to the same behaviors, and indulging in the same, you know, activities.
Okay, well, it's called the Lioness Pride. It's thelionesspride.org, right?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to get in touch or know more about it, ladies, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations and thanks for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
I appreciate
All right,
it.
absolutely. That's it for this edition of Perspective New Jersey. I'm Nora Muchanic. We'll see you again next time. So long.